Hi, thanks for joining me for this Padres post-game recap for April 29th. And by the way, if it looks like I'm a little sunburned right now, well, it's because I am. I had a great time out at the ballpark yesterday with my family, watching the Padres sweep the Giants. So, you know, a little bit of sun on the face, if that's what it takes to complete the sweep, then it was certainly worth it. A good time was had by all. But unfortunately tonight, the Padres have their 4-game winning streak snapped by the Cubs. First game of this 4-game set by a score of 5-3. 5 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for the Cubs. 3 runs, 8 hits. No errors for the Padres. And the Padres actually got on the board first thanks to a little bit of help of some wild pitches by Jeff Samardzija in the top of the first inning. 1-0 Pods at the end of 1. Then at the bottom of the second, Clayton Richard would get himself into trouble, falling behind in the count 3-0 to Scott Hairston. Threw him a 3-1 fastball up and out over. And Scott did what he does with fastballs that are elevated out over the plate. Hit it hard, hit it into left field over the wall for a home run. Tied it up 1-1. Then the very next batter, again Clayton falls behind in the count, this time to former Padre Cody Ransom. Throws him a 3-2 fastball up and out over, and Cody drives that one to dead center field for another home run, 2-1 Cubs. Cubs would add on another run in the 4th inning, this time at the hands of Darwin Barney, a 2-out single. That made it 3-1 Cubs at that point. Padres would fight back, however, though. In the 5th inning, they have bases loaded, and Yonder Alonso comes up with a big 2-out, 2-run RBI single to left field. And by the way, that is the 4th hit now in the last 2 games that Yonder Alonso has been able to drive the ball opposite field. He had the 3 doubles yesterday. He had the base hit today. Great to see him using the entire field again, because as we saw last year, when he's using left field, center field, the entire field, that is when he's locked in. He's looking good right now. Good to see that. So they tied it up at that point. Then in the 6th inning, Clayton had a chance to work out of a jam. He got himself into trouble giving up the leadoff single. Then he had a walk. 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Again, he falls behind in the count to Scott Hairston, but this time he makes a great pitch. Good fastball in the low outside corner. Gets the ground ball, 5-4-3 double play. You're thinking he's going to get out of the jam. Everything's looking good. But then he gives up a hit to the next batter, Cody Ransom once again. That gives the Cubs the lead at that point. 4-3. Anthony Bass comes in. He gives up a hit to Darwin Barney. That makes it 5-3 at that point, and the Padres just wouldn't be able to catch up. And it was 2 things that are unfortunate. First of all, the Padres had opportunities to get back into this ballgame. They stranded 11 runners tonight, or had runners on base in 6 different innings. So it wasn't as though they didn't have opportunities. They did. They just weren't able to come up with a big hit. But the other thing that was really frustrating was the fact that the part of the lineup with the Cubs that did all the damage tonight was the bottom part of the lineup, the 6th, 7th, 8th batters. Those guys combined had all 5 RBIs. In fact, they had 6 hits tonight, 2 home runs, a double, and all 5 of the RBIs. That's coming from the bottom part of the lineup. So the Padres did their job of not letting the meat of the order beat them, but you've got to beat the bottom part of the order, and that's been a problem certainly for Clayton Richard this year, who the bottom part of the lineup had been hitting .480 against him coming into this ball game tonight, and it came back to haunt him once again tonight. Got to figure that out, because that's the part of the lineup that you're supposed to be able to keep under control and use to get yourself out of those tough situations. Well, the Padres will try to pick things up again tomorrow. It's going to be Edinson Volquez going up against Edwin Jackson. Edinson, by the way, coming off maybe one of his best starts ever in a Padres uniform. 7 innings, no runs, most importantly, no walks allowed in his last ever versus the Brewers. He'll be going up against Edwin Jackson, who was the free agent during the offseason that the Padres had interest in, but as the bidding on him became too high and the Padres backed off. So they'll get an opportunity to go head-to-head with him tomorrow. Game time, 7:05. Ted Leitner and myself will be bringing you the call on the Mighty 1090. Hope that you'll join us. I'm Bob Scanlon. Thanks for joining me tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
So what you talking about?